How would you look at a rematch with the Buccaneers today with the new additions, with another year for the coaching staff, for Jalen? Jonathan Gannon's got more toys on the other side. How would that game look? Football show. We appreciate everybody stepping in with us. Thank you so much, as you do each and every single day. I'm going to start out by saying I am very excited about this week, and I'm very excited about the fact that these joint practices are now going to have high-intensity reps. This is exactly what you need to get yourselves ready for an upcoming NFL season. Finally, some high-intensity reps, because the stuff that most teams, not just the Eagles, but most teams are doing now in camp, you're seeing all these lingering injuries now. You're seeing all these players with lower extremity injuries. You know what that is from? That's from not being prepared for an upcoming NFL season. And you're going to see a lot more of that. Well, what you're going to get here, though, is now with these joint practices, you're going to start seeing now higher intensity, inside drill, 7-on-7, 9-on-7, individual pass rushing. Okay? Inside drill. Inside drill was one of the most important drills that Coach Jimmy Johnson used to have us do, because it was ones versus ones. It was high intensity. It was game speed. And get this, it got you ready for each and every single year that you were going to play, and also it got you ready for games. That was one of his legendary drills that he had, was called inside drill, and that's kind of what these controlled scrimmages are. Now, are they a step down from the exhibition games? Probably, and what you're trying to do, obviously, is you're trying to not have your guys get injured. You're also trying to teach with this new fundamental way of doing it. And actually, I like it. I like the controlled scrimmages. I'd rather have the controlled scrimmages more so than anything that the Eagles or any team has done so far in camp. Helmets and shorts, I don't really know how much you're getting yourself prepared for a season or a game when you're going through those type of drills. So travel day on Thursday and Friday, the Browns and the Eagles are going to have these joint practices. Then they're going to play a football game on Sunday. I like it. You know, when you get a chance to hit an opposing jersey compared to your own jersey, this is what you want to do as you get ready. I think this is really like the dress rehearsal for the Lions game, for the Lions this week, and for, I would say, the Eagles this week. I don't think you'll see really a lot of the starters playing on Sunday, but I do think you're going to see them in these individual joint practices on Thursday and Friday. So kudos to the league. I like this. We used to do a lot of this anyway. You know, even in my time when I was with the Cowboys, I don't remember it so much in 87 with the Bucs. Maybe we scrimmaged the Dolphins. But more so when we got to Thousand Oaks and I was with the Cowboys, we used to have scrimmages with the Raiders and the Chargers. And we would have a week of practice with the Chargers up at Thousand Oaks. And then we would travel to Oxnard, where they are now. Funny, how funny is that? And we would have these weekly scrimmages with the Raiders and with the Chargers. And then we would play a game over the weekend. So when I was in Dallas, we did more of these controlled scrimmages, more so I would say than my first year in the league. So I'm a fan of this stuff. All right. Please hit the like button. Thank you guys so much for coming aboard. I appreciate it. We are packed. Don't forget, in hour number 2. As I said yesterday, today we will have Joe Theismann on, former NFL Most Valuable Player. He works for the NFL Network. We will get his comments. I will ask him about the Eagles. I will ask him also about the upcoming season and many of the questions that some of these teams have as we move forward into the 2022 season. I can't wait for September 11th. I really can't. Let me start the show off by adding this to you. I heard Jeff Kerr on with the Sports Take guys, contributor to JAKIB Sports and also CBSSports.com. Would that Buck game be closer today? You think that Buck game would be closer today than it was in January? They were never in it. They were never in that game. Okay? They were never in it. That thing was never close. Probably the coin toss was the closest it was. How would you look at a rematch with the Buccaneers today with the new additions, with another year for the coaching staff, for Jalen? Jonathan Gannon's got more toys on the other side. How would that game look today, that Buccaneer game, compared to how it looked in January? GG says, yes. With this defense, definitely closer. 34-31 Bucks. Flex, you really think this game would be a game now? Just because they got Brady. So just because, Seth, in your opinion, because the experience of quarterback, right? Hey, and no shade on anybody. Brady's beating 99% of the people in the league, not just Jalen Hurts. Okay, so it's not a Jalen issue. It's the fact that Brady is he's the equalizer in this whole thing here where, he's the wild card and he's going to pretty much, no matter what team it is, he's going to be the favorite because it's Tom Brady. Don't think this defense gives up all those quick points. More pressure, better corner play. I still think safeties are an issue for the Eagles going into the season. Hey, guys, I don't really think that they've addressed the safety position. I think that that's still going to be a weakness. Now, the linebacker play, in my opinion, it kind of offsets that. So the linebackers can cover for some of the mistakes, but I do not believe that the Eagles have good safeties. Now, there's no perfect team in the league. So when we say this, okay, there's a lot of football teams out there that when you're talking about certain position groupings, you're not going to get that perfect roster. There's very few of those. I think the Chiefs don't have a perfect roster. I don't think the Rams have a perfect roster. I think the closest to a perfect roster is probably in Buffalo. Brady's the roach. Just never dies. I get it. Hey, Craig, you know what? Craig says, I think Brady's heart isn't in it anymore. You know what, Craig? Why don't you and me give him the benefit, though? Watch this. Craig, I kind of believe what you're saying, but I'm going to give that guy the benefit. I saw Antonio Brown making some sort of idiotic, asinine comment saying, look at Brady. Brady gets the chance to go and work out his issues privately with his family, and no one else does. See the difference? Dude, you're not Tom Brady. And if you think everybody in life is treated the same, you got a problem. Antonio Brown is one of those guys that thinks his worth on this planet is more than his estimation of what he sees himself as. When he looks at himself in the mirror, he sees Tom Brady. And he's not. You don't have that equity, guy. Just because you had a lot of catches and a lot of yards in Pittsburgh, you've been a colossal failure in life and in football for the last 3 years. You have no equity. Nobody's running to your side right now offering you contracts. Hell, Josh Gordon's getting chances to get back in the league. And nobody has thrown a contract at your feet yet. Why? Because you're a locker room cancer. If the Eagles thought that guy could help the Eagle team, and fundamentally, with his ability, he could. But dude, his asinine ways outweigh his talent right now. Jimmy Johnson used to have this thing called the sliding scale. If you were a hemorrhoid, but your production was up here, Jimmy put you on the team because it balanced out. But once that talent started really tilting the scale, you were gone. That's how he treated you. All right, you want to be that guy, Charles Haley? Well, you better produce. Wait, I'm not a psychologist, but hey, it just doesn't seem normal. I look at this game and I would say this to you. I think that they would not be still in this game, but I do think that if the Buccaneers and the Eagles got on the field today, I think it could be close for a quarter and a half. 21-7, something like that. And it would hang there for a while. And then the offense of the Buccaneers would take over that game with Brady. And it would end up something like 34-21, something like that. We'd be in that room. It would be better. I don't really think significantly better when it comes to, I shouldn't say that because, like I said, a quarter and a half, I think you'd still be in it. And again, it would come down, you know what, too? You want to hear this, guys? I don't really think it would come down to the players that they have on the roster right now. I want to know if those coaches would get out-coached. Dude, you got Byron Leftwich, you still got Todd Bowles, you still got some really good coaches on that coaching staff. Arians is in the building, too. And then you got Sirianni, and you got Jonathan Gannon, and you got Shane Steichen. I mean, these guys are still very young coaches going against experienced veteran guys. Okay? Seals, you think the O-line now is better than the 2017 O-line? Yeah, how about this? Jess, I hate to give you a fence-straddling answer, but I think comparable. But I'd also say this to you. I think they're deeper. Like, if you have an injury, you have guys that are sitting there on the bench that could come in and there wouldn't be one of these over-the-cliff drop-offs in talent. I think the Eagles are the most talented offensive grouping and offensive line, depth-wise, starter-wise, in the National Football League. And I'm going to put this out there to you, and I don't really think it's close. I think it's Philly. No one really says it. I think the Philly O-line with the coach, with the backups, I think it's Philly and everyone else. And you could pick second, third, or fourth, or fifth who you want in the second hole. I think that gap. How about this? Let me say this to you. I think the gap of talent that the Philadelphia Eagles have in offensive line is the widest gap of any grouping for any team in the league. Like, what I'm saying is a team may have a really deep D line or be really deep at linebacker. Pretty much a lot of teams are you're right there, right? I think it's the Eagles, and then I think there's a wide gap between who the second best team is offensively when we're talking in the lines. And plus your coach offsets everything else. You get the best teacher in the game. Best grouping of players in the league belongs to the Eagles, and that's the O-line. You know how some teams have really great wideouts or great, like, skilled guys, wide receivers running? Eagles have the best O-line, backups, coach. The whole thing's the best. They are the gold standard. The Eagles' offensive line with their coach are the gold standard in the sport. And let me tell you something. When you have that group and you're the best at that group, you are in every game. You're in every single football game. Pass protection, they've already showed that they're the best run group in the NFL. Dude, you start with that. Look at the Giants. The Giants under Dave Gettleman, he spent 5 years trying to find one tackle. The Eagles have four. They find Jordan Mailata in the 7th round. How do you put this helmet on, mate? You know, if the chin strap goes here, dude. Oh, here? What are these? Hey, mate, what are these? Shoulder pads. Okay. Yeah, Xander's like this. Landon Dickerson is going to be an absolute animal. Dude, that line down the line, I'll tell you one thing. If it's a sunny day at Lincoln Financial, just stand behind them guys. You don't have to worry about it. You'll think it's midnight. Those are guys that absolutely block out the sun. By the way, Dickerson's a hell of a football player. Hell of a football player, man. Dude, I like this kid Dillard. I know you guys, some of you guys don't. He's fighting for his life. Good for him. Good for him. I'd go out swinging too. Man. How about this? I think the Buccaneer O-line with Ryan Jensen being out, I don't think it's in the group of the Eagles. That tackle they got from Iowa, he's a superstar player too, though. The kid Worth, is it? That kid's a great-looking player. He follows me on Twitter, too. We correspond back and forth. And you know what he said to me about Jordan Mailata? He goes like this. He goes, damn, Sills, that guy is some player, huh? And I go, dude, you, him, and the guy in San Diego, or excuse me, the guy who plays for the Chargers, Slater. You three guys are the best young tackles I've seen in a group in a long time. The Bucs have a great young tackle, too, offensive tackle. The Chargers have a great young offensive tackle. And the Eagles have a spectacular young tackle. So I do think the game would be closer. How about this? It'd be closer longer between the Buccaneers. Brady needs to be blindsided. Hard to hit that guy, man. He's a rhythm passer, and he's not going to sit there and hold that ball too long. I hope Stoutland is the highest paid coach on the coaching staff. It's a good question, Jesse. I don't know if he is, but I'll tell you what. You talk about people coming after a guy like that. Boy, if I were the Eagles, I would give absolutely zero permission to talk to him while he was on contract. No way. You know, there's a rule in the NFL. Some of these coaches can't make lateral moves without the permission of the team. Like, you would have to have him be an assistant head coach / O-line. That's how they get around that. That's why you see that multi-tag, assistant to the head coach, and he's a linebacker coach or he's an O-line coach. You can't have lateral moves when you're going after another assistant on a coaching staff. So you have to you have to add another title to it for you to be able to talk to Jeff Stoutland. If I were the Eagles, I would never let anybody talk to that guy. No way. Sills, just tell us how it is. Put your feelings back in your purse. Not sure. Worse was a heavyweight at Iowa. Hey, let me tell you this, man. Marina, he was a fabulous player in college, and he's just a great player now. Dan, what are the Eagles missing to beat Tampa? Come on, man. It's Brady versus Jalen. But watch this. It's Brady versus anybody else. It's not a Jalen thing. Brady versus anybody in the NFL. Who you taking? Tom Brady versus the field. Who you taking? In a game of 60 minutes of football, who are you taking? Come on. It's not a Jalen Hurts thing. It's not a Jalen Hurts thing. You can make it into one. It's not. I would take Brady over every quarterback. If I had to win one game, one football game with that guy versus the field, I'm taking Brady. You can have the rest of them because you know why? He's beaten them all. He's beaten them all, and he's won the significant games. Rodgers, Mahomes, okay, you guys can have them. He's beaten them all. He's beat all them dudes. Hey, okay, Gigi, fair enough, Foles. Hey, fair enough, Foles, right?